Everybody, this is Cyberse Hunter, and today I'm doing something a little different. Now, as you know, I am a gamer, but I do not just play video games, I also play card games. So, for the sake of that ideology, I will be presenting my new Cyberse deck, which came out with the starter deck Link Strike, and it recently gained support from Code of the Duelist Booster Pack. So, with all that fun information out of the way, I say we get started. So, first I run 3 Cyberse Wizards. Now, Cyberse, let's get a good look at him. Look at that bossness. Now, Cyberse Wizard has the effect that once per turn, you can target one attack position monster your opponent controls and change it to defense position. And if you do, for the rest of the turn, your monsters cannot attack except to attack that monster. And if your monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. So basically, you can target one of your opponent's monster and force it to defense mode to inflict that delicious piercing damage. Not a bad trade-off considering you're not allowed to attack anything else. Next, I run 3 Launcher Commander. Sorry, one of them got hidden, but he's there. You can see it. Take a look at that. There's Launcher Commander for you. Now, his effect states that all Cyberse monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. And once per turn, you contribute 1 Cyberse monster, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and destroy it. So basically, all Cyberse monsters get a little power boost, and you get to do an eye for an eye scenario. Next, 3 Draconet. His effect is that when a card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower normal monster from your hand or deck in defense position. I'll explain its effect a little bit more in detail later. Next, I run 3 Ram Clouder. His effect states that you contribute 1 monster, then target 1 Cyberse monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. So basically, you get to tribute 1 useless monster on your field to bring back monsters that are useful to you. Now, I'm not saying all monsters that you have in this deck are useless, but if you don't need a Beteron, you can certainly tribute it to get back, say, your Firewall Dragon. Because it's not exactly specific on what you can bring back. Next, we run 3 Backup Secretary. Her effect is one of the is a useful one. She's also one of the female ones so far. If you control a Cyberse monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and only from your hand. You can only special summon 1 Backup Secretary once per turn this way. So if you have 2 Backup Secretaries in your hand, and you control a Cyberse monster, I'm afraid you can only summon 1 of them. And yes, I have encountered that scenario before. It sucked. Next I run 2 Link Slayer. Link Slayer is like the Cyber Dragon of this deck. If you control no monsters, you get to pop him to the field. However, he does have the benefited effect of once per turn, discard up to 2 cards, then get that many spell trap cards on the field and destroy them. So you basically send 2 monsters from your hand to destroy 2 spell trap cards your opponent has on their field. It's not a bad trade-off. Next, Salvagent Driver. This one's actually pretty useful, as if a Cyberse Link monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while this card is in your hand or graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card, and if you do, and you can discard 1 spell from your hand, then target 1 Cyberse monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot attack directly this turn. You can only use the effect of Salvagent Driver once per turn. So basically, send a spell card from your graveyard to summon back 1 Cyberse monster from your graveyard to the field. However, he's not allowed to attack directly. He can still attack, just not directly. Next, I run 2 Stack Reviver. Sorry, I'm a little tired right now. Basically, he's one of the more useful ones, and his effect is that if this card is used as a material for a link summon, you can target one level 4 or lower Cyberse monster in your graveyard that was used as material for that link summon. Then special summon it in defense position. However, you can only use its effect once per duel. So you can only use it once in the entire duel. So if you summon Decode Talker utilizing, I don't know, Cyberse Wizard, Backup Secretary, and Stack Reviver, you can use Stack Reviver's effect to bring back Cyberse Wizard. However, Cyberse Wizard will be in defense mode. That's all the effect monsters in this deck. I do run one, or rather 3, but they're the same, normal monsters, and that's Bitteron. Or Bitron, sorry. This is the only normal monster, and this is the monster you use for Draconet. At least until they release the other one, whose name I don't remember at this point in time. But that's it for the monsters. Now on to the spells. Yes, I'm aware that this deck is monster heavy. It has to be. It's a Link deck. First, we have the field spell Cynet Universe. Let you get a good look at it. Basically, all Link monsters you control gain 300 attack. Once per turn, you can target one monster in the graveyard and shuffle it back into your deck. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, send all monsters in the extra monster zones to the graveyard. This includes yours. Kinda sucks, but oh well. Next, One Foolish Burial. Basically, send one card from your deck to the graveyard. I recommend Solvent Driver. Now, I don't have a second one, but I would run 2 Terraforming. This allows you to add a field spell from your deck to your hand, so Cynet Universe. I have no idea what happened to the second one. Next, Soul Charge. You get to bring back monsters from your graveyard. However, for each monster you bring back, you must pay 1,000 life points. It's a risky move, but at times it can pay off. Dark Hole blows up the whole field. I run 2 Pot of Duality. Basically, you get to look at the top 3 cards on your deck, then select one of them to add to your hand. So, unlike other pots, you actually get to choose what you want. Therefore, any errors you make is all on you. 1 Upstart Goblin. You get to draw a card, but your opponent gains 1,000 life points. 2 Magical Space Typhoons. I'd rather run 2 Twin Twisters, but this is all I had at the time. Basically, destroy 1 spell or trap card your opponent has. Or you have. But that's it for the spells. Now to the traps. 1 Jar of Avarice. You get to select 5 cards in your graveyard and return it to your deck. Then you get to draw a card. Solemn Warning stops the activation of any effect on the field or the summoning of a monster, but you must pay 2,000 life points to activate it. Then Bottomless Trap Hole. You get to banish a special summon monster, so it pretty much screws the opponent over. And 1 Torrential Tribute. Basically, this 2 nukes the field. That's all the main deck monsters. Now let's move on to the extra deck. We'll start from Link 4 and work our way down. I would run more than 1, but he's kind of expensive right now. So for right now, I only have the 1 Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon is an awesome card. Just look at that. Look at that beast. His effect is that his summoning requirements is that you need 2 or more monsters. His effect is that once while face up on the field, and this is considered a quick effect, you can target monsters on the field and or graveyard up to the number of monsters co-linked to this monster, and then return them to the hand. If a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. Too dang useful to not include in this deck. Next is another Link 4 monster, and that's Topological Bomber Dragon. He's dead useful too. He requires 2 or more effect monsters. And his effect states that if another monster special summoned to a zone or a link monster points to, while this monster is on the field, destroy all monsters in the main monster zones. Also, your other monsters cannot attack for the rest of this turn. After damage calculation, if this card attacked an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. So, it's kind of like Flame Wingman, only 20 times more awesome. Next I run 3 Link 3 Decode Talkers. He requires 2 or more effect monsters, and it gains 500 attack for each monster it points to. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card or cards you control, this is considered a quick effect. You contribute 1 monster this card points to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So, not a bad card in the least. Next, I run 3 Link 2 Honeybots. She requires 2 Cyberse monsters to summon, and neither player can target monsters this card points to with a card effect, and these monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So, she's dead useful. And then you're probably wondering why I run that 1 normal monster. Well, here's why. 3 Link 1 Link Spider. His summoning condition is that he requires 1 normal monster, and once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower normal monster from your hand to the zone this card points to. And that's all I have for the extra deck. Well, that's my Cyberse deck. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you would like to see more decks that I have built, please leave a comment in the area below, and I will see you next video. Also remember, like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it 20 million times before. Bye!